Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, Main Street is about to come alive with a fall fair. Police will now enforce a strict no texting policy while driving your vehicles. Plus, Superintendent Anthony Pope wants everyone exercising on Wednesday nights. And later in this half hour, attention all Facebook fans, you now have a chance to become a fan of us. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on Sunday's Heritage Festival. On the first Sunday in October, downtown Marlborough comes alive with a fall fair. The Heritage Festival is held on Main Street itself and welcomes visitors to enjoy a day of fun for all ages.
People can walk around very safely and visit with neighbors, teachers, friends, and then they can see all of these different vendor booths.
The festival is kicked off with a road race, the Main Street Mile, which begins on Lincoln Street and ends in front of City Hall. There's a series of entertainment to enjoy throughout the day, including interactive children's groups, live bands, and dancers. Vendors line both sides of the street with handmade items, crafts, jewelry, and food. A highlight of the day is the Chowder Festival. Over a dozen area restaurants serve up gallons of tasty chowder for all to sample. Once you have chosen your favorite chowder, you may cast a vote.
It's only $3 and you get to taste all the different chowders that are offered by 12 or so establishments in the area. And these restaurants and eateries are competing for the silver chowder bowl. And then they get to have this trophy, this honor for the whole year and be known as serving the best chowder.
The success of the festival is attributed to the wonderful committee of volunteers who plan the event throughout the year. It's all made possible through the generous support and donations of numerous sponsors. It's a great day for all to attend. In addition to the great events that will be taking place on Sunday, an award will be given to one city resident. Local historian and veterans agent for the city, Gary Brown, is this year's Heritage Hero. Heritage Festival Committee members made the announcement at City Hall on Monday afternoon. Here's Paula Pimentel with more.
The selection of Gary Brown as the 2010 Heritage Hero was announced on Monday by Elizabeth Kowalski, who is the Heritage Festival Committee Chair. The award of Heritage Hero is given out annually during the Heritage Festival to a Marlborough citizen who has been active in either promoting Marlborough's heritage and/or has been active in preserving city traditions, historical buildings, pictures, or memorabilia. Gary Brown has served the Marlborough's Historical Commission for a while and collaborated in the restoration of 2 Marlborough homes to historic accuracy. On September 25th, he celebrated his 15th anniversary as Marlborough's Veterans Agent. With this title, he has been an advocate for veterans, making sure they both understand and receive the benefits they are entitled to. Brown will officially receive his award at a presentation in front of City Hall on Sunday at 10:30 in the morning during the 15th Annual Heritage Festival. The festival is a joint effort by the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce and the city to provide a day of fun for the entire family while celebrating the city's rich heritage. Up-to-date details can be found at marlboroughheritagefestival.com. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Paola Pimentel.
The Heritage Festival ends at 3 p.m. on Sunday, but the fun doesn't stop there. One of the final events celebrating the city of Marlborough's 350th birthday takes place this Sunday, October 3rd at 3 p.m. on the grounds of Marlborough Public Library. A time capsule containing items from 2010 will be buried. It will be opened again in 50 years in 2060. Marlborough residents are invited to participate by autographing the time capsule while attending the Heritage Day events in downtown Marlborough. The time capsule will be available between 1:30 p.m. and 3 p.m. outside the library for those who'd like to sign it. Police are investigating a string of car break-ins. Police received several reports of break-ins involving both locked and unlocked cars on the east side of Marlborough, including Stetson Drive, Cedar Hill Road, and Flint Drive. Police do not have any suspects. If people notice anything missing from their vehicles, they can call Marlborough Police at 508-485-1212.
At Monday night's City Council meeting, Councilors backed proposals to turn a vacant 4-story building on Pleasant Street into condos and to allow for a drive-up ATM at an East Main Street TD Bank. Plans for the Howe Shoe Factory condominiums call for a business office and 17 two-bedroom condos expected to sell for $220,000 to $230,000. The bank plans to tear down the 3-story building at 133 East Main Street, currently a South Middlesex Opportunity Council site, and build a new 1-story branch. Natick developer Crosspoint Associates has the building under agreement. After rejecting the idea last year, city councilors will again discuss the possibility of raising the city's lodging tax. Through a change in Mass General laws last year, the state gave communities the ability to increase their hotel and motel occupancy tax from 4 to 6%, and to bump the 6.25% tax on restaurant meals up to 7%. City Council President Arthur Vigent is advocating for the additional 2% lodging tax, stating that the funding would allow the Marlborough Economic Development Corp. To expand its outreach to businesses and to help it draw in more companies. Councilors referred discussion about the tax to the Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee on Monday, but not everyone supported the decision. At the school committee meeting Tuesday night, representatives from the International Center for Leadership in Education presented their findings from a recent study it performed. The school committee hired the center to help with the beginning of its 5-year strategic planning process. The center surveyed every teacher in the district and all students in 3rd through 12 grades. One of the next steps is a deeper analysis of the surveys. Superintendent Anthony Pope will analyze the surveys. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
A new law banning texting behind the wheel and cell phone use by junior operators took effect on Thursday. Police officers statewide say they face a challenge in distinguishing whether someone is texting or dialing while behind the wheel, but say they are committed to using the state's new law to remove distracted drivers from the road. State police will be watching for drivers handling cell phones while weaving on highways. Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick signed the law this past summer. Patrick's signing of the law made the Bay State the 30th state to make it illegal to send text messages while driving. Motorists under the age of 18 who are cited for cell phone use will face a $100 fine and a 60-day license suspension. Thousands of people die each year because of distracted drivers. Employment Options received a low-cost $120,000 loan for Mass Development's new Community Service Loan Fund to install a new heating and air conditioning system. The new addition will take place at its main office at 82 Brigham Street. The new system will increase energy efficiency and save up to 20% on energy costs. Employment Options is a nonprofit human services agency that offers programs in workforce development, housing, and family support for adults with mental illness. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, one local home is saved from extensive fire damage thanks to one letter carrier. But first, an educational showcase at the Immaculate Conception Church. Please stay with us. We're back with that story after this short break.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism.
Most people don't know what that is. We've learned about autism. To the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together. Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Members of the Immaculate Conception Church and the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce joined forces Wednesday morning for the Chamber's annual educational showcase. While learning about educational opportunities in the area, they also celebrated the school's 100th anniversary.
They certainly have a presence here in Marlborough and an impact on our community. And it really is a whole lot of great people, and that's the bottom line.
The Immaculate Conception School is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year with several events, which included an educational showcase, which was presented by the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce and highlighted by 2 alumni speakers on Wednesday morning.
The education showcase that we've done annually for at least 15 years brings together all the schools, whether they're private schools, public schools, higher ed, colleges, brings them all together in one place so people can see the vast array of opportunities for their children for education.
Reverend Michael McEwen, pastor of Immaculate Conception Church, stated that the school's first building went up in 1910 and opened its doors in 1911. Now the school has 3 buildings, the upper, lower, and convent schools, which serve preschool through the 8th grade. A senior at St. John's High School in Shrewsbury stated that he learned about important values such as humility and loving his neighbor. Katie Jurdy, a 2001 graduate of Immaculate Conception, says she learned about hard work and determination, which were key to her recovery following a stroke she suffered a few years ago. More events are scheduled for this 100th celebration of the IC School. On October 31st, Cardinal Sean O'Malley will officiate at a special 11 a.m. Mass at Immaculate Conception, commemorating the 100th anniversary. The school is also planning a Centennial Gala on April 2nd at the Best Western Royal Plaza Hotel. Superintendent Anthony Pope has been trying to connect with this community to see how we can make Marlborough Public Schools the best it can be. One initiative he is using to reach out is called Workout Wednesdays, and we were there on Wednesday night to see how it's going. To be healthy, exercise is essential. Thanks to the motivation from Superintendent Dr. Anthony Pope, a new initiative has begun to take shape.
Today, Workout Wednesdays. We're trying to do that every Wednesday. First, it's a way to model healthy habits, and it's, most importantly, it's a way to get staff and community out for a jog and to come together to talk about Marlborough Public Schools.
All who are interested in taking part in Workout Wednesdays are asked to come to a specified location on Wednesday nights at 4 p.m. Participants will run, jog, or walk for 30 minutes. Following the exercise session, participants have the chance to chat with Dr. Pope about their current concerns regarding our local schools.
To talk about what's on their mind, what's working well, what's not working well. As I go through my entry process, it's just another way for me to get out into the community and to hear from residents, teachers, students, etc.
This past week marked the second Workout Wednesday.
The participation has been great. I think we can do a better job of advertising, try to get more parents out.
In his efforts for better communication through the district, Dr. Pope encourages all to attend in the coming weeks. A Marlborough mailman recently saved a local home from being destroyed by a fire that he was delivering mail to last month. We spoke with Marlborough letter carrier Tim Hardiman to find out what happened.
You think a little bit. You still just react.
While delivering mail on September 2nd, letter carrier Timothy Hardiman saw an Edinburgh Street home with smoke billowing out of its windows.
There was a lot of smoke, and I knew that it wouldn't take long for the fire to spread. So I was the first one on the scene, and I thought that if anything, I was the one that'd be responsible to take somebody out if there was someone in there.
Hardiman was filling in for someone on this particular day, and he was unfamiliar with the area. He also noticed 2 bikes on the lawn and thought there may have been kids inside.
I didn't know the families. I didn't know how many children they had or how big the family was.
He yelled inside, but got no answer. Hardiman then called 911. He went to the back of the house and saw flames. He called out again and still heard no response, so he went in. After going into the house through a screen door, 42-year-old Hardiman went through each room on the first floor to make sure no one was inside. Once he got to the front door, he opened it because of the heavy smoke.
I continued on to the second floor and searched the entire second floor, the closets, bathrooms, beds, and then came back down and came back out again and got some air.
Hardiman said he was not concerned for his own safety because of the height of the building. No one was inside at the time, and even though the 911 dispatcher told him not to go into the house, Hardiman stated he couldn't have dealt with how he would have felt if he could have helped someone and didn't.
If the process got delayed any further, that the house would have an enormous amount of damage. And it could have been a lot worse.
A firefighter who lives next door used an extinguisher to put out the flames in the kitchen. The fire department arrived soon after and did additional work on the blaze. Although he did not have training for such a situation, Hardiman did take exams in applying to be a firefighter years ago. If faced with the same situation in the future, Hardiman states he would do it all again if it meant saving someone's life or property. Coming up, we'll tell you how you can become a fan of us. 6 puppies are up for adoption and are in need of a loving home, and your weather outlook for the weekend and into next week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
This is Ducky Duck. Ducky Duck is really no different than you and I. You see, Ducky enjoys using Marlborough's rivers, streams, lakes, and ponds for travel, leisure, and even for drinking water. But Ducky needs your help. When humans mistake stormwater drains for sewers, it causes many problems. While sewers are connected to the plumbing in our houses, stormwater catch basins are completely separate and flow directly into our public water supply. Polluted waterways can affect the quality of our drinking water, our wildlife, and the overall health of our city. So when you discard trash, fertilizers, or oils into these drains, it's bad news for Ducky and for you. Help keep our waterways clean.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. We at WMCT-TV aim to give you up-to-date information on what's happening in your city. We recently produced a Facebook page so all of you at home could follow us. Our daily news break will be posted in addition to any breaking news information. So if you are a fan of Facebook, it's now your chance to become a fan of us. Just search WMCT-TV or visit our website at WMCT-TV.com and click our Facebook link.
This sweet little baby is one of a litter of 6 puppies that came to Buddy Dog recently. They're shepherd mixes. There's a good chance they're going to be very large dogs, and they're going to require a lot of work, training. They're just babies, so they don't know a lot yet, but they sure do know how to be cute. So if you're interested in any of these puppies, please feel free to call Buddy Dog at 978-443-6990.
We ended the month of September with windy, rainy weather. Let's see how the beginning of October looks. Here's a look at your 5-day forecast. Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Before we go, we just want to remind you to come out this Sunday, October 3rd, for the Heritage Festival. In addition, the 2010 time capsule will be buried directly following the festival on the lawns of the Marlborough Public Library. The time capsule burying is the last of the events that will help celebrate our 350th birthday. For more information about Sunday's festival, please visit marlboroughheritagefestival.com. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, the 2010 time capsule has been buried. The 15th annual Heritage Festival draws thousands to downtown, plus a group of dedicated parents are on a mission to help special needs students. And later in this half hour, a haunted house to benefit the Marlborough Food Pantry. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. One of the final events commemorating the city of Marlborough's 350th birthday took place last Sunday. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on the 2010 time capsule. In honor of the city's 350th anniversary, a time capsule was buried in the front lawn of the Marlborough Public Library last Sunday. Spearheaded by the Marlborough 350th Celebration Committee, the new capsule will be opened in the year 2060. About 70 residents gathered to watch a small ceremony that was delivered by City Council President Arthur Vigin. All interested residents had the chance to sign the capsule. Items such as Red Sox-Yankees tickets, a DVD player, letters from city officials, a cell phone, a uniform from the Immaculate Conception School, gift certificates, and a bottle of Ken's dressing, a product that is made in Marlborough, were included in the capsule. Last Sunday was quite a busy day with the time capsule burying and, of course, the Heritage Festival. The event took place directly before the capsule burying, which attracts thousands of residents to the heart of the city each and every year. On Sunday, October 3rd, Marlborough's downtown Main Street became one huge block party with the Marlborough Heritage Festival. Thousands of residents and visitors enjoyed a road race, vendors, food court, chowder tasting, children's activities, arts and crafts, and more. The annual community-wide event is sponsored by the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce and the City of Marlborough. The Velvet Moon Gypsies, colorfully costumed belly dancers, performed by the food court located across from City Hall. Another favorite return to the festival this year, line dancing by the Country Kickers. Kwan's martial arts gave demonstrations for kids to enjoy, and the children also enjoyed the opportunity to climb into a variety of special vehicles. By the Arch at Florence Street, Flashback, a popular local band, played classic music all day long. In addition, a high school group named Haywood played at the Chowder Fest from 12 to 2. The Chowder Fest took place once again this year. Chowder was offered in the small parking lot by the old fire station from 12:30 to 2. Cost was $3 to taste chowders by 15 local eateries competing for the honor of the best chowder. Contestants included the Best Western Royal Plaza Hotel, Buffet Way, Checkerboards, Coral Seafoods, the Courtyard by Marriott, and Embassy Suites, just to name a few. Once again, it was a fun day for all. One of the highlights of the Heritage Festival is the Heritage Hero Ceremony and Award Giving. This year's recipient was Gary Brown. Here's Brown's acceptance speech.
As Veterans Agent, I serve heroes. I know heroes, and I'm not one of them. Since being told of my selection for this honor, I've been pointing out to people who are worthy, people who do more than research, people who live the life, like my predecessor as Historical Commission Chair, Ernie Giannetti. He did his work when few understood the work of preserving our heritage. He lived the life. He moved two historic houses to his land and rebuilt them to historic accuracy. He understood that when a community loses its history, it loses its soul. Once it's gone, it's gone. I worry about the push to electronic media. 50 years from now, how will we access this information? I often go to the library to research our old newspaper files. Not easy, but the information from these old newspapers is there, preserved. All of us should do our part to preserve the history that is all around us, but largely overlooked. When it's gone, it's gone.
A Marlborough man was released on $500 cash bail on Monday after pleading not guilty to child pornography possession charges at his arraignment in Marlborough District Court. 57-year-old David Bordelais was released with the conditions that he not be in contact with anyone under the age of 18, not be employed or volunteer with anyone under 18, not use a computer or the internet for any purpose, and report in person to a probation officer once a week. Bordelais is scheduled for a pre-trial hearing on November 29th in Marlborough District Court. Monday night's City Council meeting had an international flavor featuring exchange students from Japan and Eastern Europe. After a hiatus last year because of concerns over the H1N1 virus, students from Akuruno City, Japan have returned to Marlborough for the annual exchange. The 6 students and chaperones arrived here last week. The Japanese students are staying with host families and will soon return home. 12 Marlborough students will travel to Akuruno City later in the school year. The school committee welcomed the Japanese students at a meeting last week. A city council subcommittee backed a trial period for the Four Kicks 2 sports complex to serve alcohol Tuesday night. The Urban Affairs Committee voted 3-0 to recommend approval of the facility's special permit amendment, which would allow Four Kicks to apply for a liquor license that it can use for 25 days through August 31st, 2011. If the full City Council approves the amendment, Four Kicks still needs to get the license for beer and wine from the city's licensing board with the okay from the state. If nothing caused the City Council to pull the alcohol license during the trial period, the facility would then serve beer and wine on a regular basis. The facility plans to serve alcohol for designated special events and adult leagues. If Four Kicks gets all the necessary approvals, the facility is eyeing early 2011 for the start of its alcohol service. After taking a few years off, a group of dedicated parents are back together to make a difference in the lives of students with special needs. The group had a kickoff meeting on Wednesday night, and we were there. A group of dedicated parents and school officials came together Wednesday night for a meeting of Marlborough's Special Education Parent Advisory Council, more commonly known as MCPAC. The group is a governing body within the school district whose mission is to work in collaboration with school officials by communicating, evaluating, advocating, and educating within the community for understanding of, respect for, and support for all children with special needs.
This is an advocacy group that works, in the interest of special needs students. What they've done, what's really neat, is they've banded together with other CPACs in the area to offer some workshops. So really that mutual feeding off of each other works in the best interest of offering great workshops and getting a lot of people here in the room at one time.
The group is excited to announce that after a few years of inactivity, they are reestablishing this very important group.
We had a very active organization for several years, and then it became dormant for a few years because some of the parents who were on the board retired, and now we're getting it back up and running. This is our first year getting back up and running, and we're hoping to bring parents together to help us revitalize the actions, but also to become more involved in understanding what are the special education needs, what are the requirements of the district, what are the requirements of parents, what are the requirements of teachers, and how together that makes a good learning environment for our children.
Group representatives have met with newly appointed Superintendent Dr. Anthony Pope to discuss ways in how he can help with the group's mission.
Dr. Pope seems to be asking the right kinds of questions, and I think we can be working very well for the good of all of our children.
For more information about how you can get involved, visit mps-edu.org and look under Students and Family and click CPAC.
We're energized. I know there's a series of workshops we're going to be doing, and the administration, myself, along with Dr. Pope and the principals, really look forward to working with the CPAC this year.
The Special Olympics facility, located at 512 Forest Street, had a medical event at its facility on Wednesday afternoon. This was the facility's first MedFest event. In an effort to screen athletes and spread awareness about the medical needs of people with intellectual disabilities, Special Olympics Massachusetts held its first MedFest on Wednesday afternoon. People with intellectual disabilities have a higher risk than the general population for several health conditions, but few professionals are trained to serve them. MedFest at the Special Olympics Massachusetts headquarters on Forest Street provided a variety of tests, including vision, hearing, bone density, and blood pressure. Special Olympics Massachusetts has held other screenings, but many take place in conjunction with sporting events. The organization expected to screen at least 50 people on Wednesday and hopes to make MedFest an annual event. The screening counts as a standard sports physical. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, a diabetes support group will come together this Sunday and all residents are encouraged to attend. But first, an inside look at First Tuesday Business Talks at the Main Street Cafe. We're back with that story after this short break. Please stay with us.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. Get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Why, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bring the bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The CEO of the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce joined business leaders in this community Tuesday morning for the first Tuesday Business Talk. The meeting, which is an informal conversation about business and community issues, takes place at the Main Street Cafe.
There's many issues that we face as a business community that we would like to help all of you as small entrepreneurs get over.
In a tough economy, small business leaders have concerns and in turn need support from others to make it through successfully. Thanks to First Tuesday Business Talks with Suzanne Morielli-Lieber, those discussions can be brought to the forefront.
How can we help your businesses so that you can grow even more?
Business leaders and employees are able to come together within an informal setting and talk about concerns and successes with individuals that understand what they're going through. In addition, there's a networking component. Business cards are traded amongst the group members to encourage more discussion and networking possibilities in the future. There is free coffee with a cash breakfast available. Reservations are not required. The talks are held on the first Tuesday of each month. For more information, please call the Chamber office at 508-485-7746. A group called Marlborough's Sweetest Kids, aimed at helping community residents deal with diabetes, is having a gathering this Sunday, October 10th, from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Marlborough Public Library. We spoke with one local mom who started this group to get the details.
This is something that we think is important for our community to look forward to and expect. And we want them to expect that every year they'll see a display. We'll bring them the latest information, the latest books, the latest technology.
Next month is American Diabetes Month, but during the month of October at the Marlborough Public Library, residents can view a special diabetes awareness display thanks to a local group called Marlborough's Sweetest Kids. This is the group's 10th display.
We've been able to, use our beautiful public library every year since 1999 after my daughter's diagnosis. I just felt I wanted to be, a resource for families that live in the area.
One local mom who started the group 10 years ago is spearheading a special get-together this Sunday at the library from 1 to 4 p.m. for any resident interested in learning more about Marlborough's Sweetest Kids or to obtain diabetes information in general.
We're meeting with families from Marlborough, from the surrounding areas that will be here, stop in, see each other that sometimes we haven't even met face to face.
Sandra McCarthy says it is in the best interest of all residents to learn about diabetes.
If you are any type of service professional, whether it's healthcare, whether you're a security guard at the mall, whether you're a retail person, you're going to run into a person with diabetes. And it's really important that you have just some basic understandings of who the face of diabetes is.
Marlborough's Sweetest Kids was created to enlighten the community while raising a child with type 1 diabetes.
It's such a stressful thing, but because we've met other people, it's given us a bond that no matter if we see each other every day, we can call each other, in the middle of the night, and we just are there for each other. And we walk the same walk, we talk the same talk.
The gathering on Sunday is aimed at meeting with families, old and new, and to meet with friends of Marlborough's Sweetest Kids.
And people that are new to diabetes, they can realize, we've been doing this for a long time, and you can do it too, and we're here to help you, and we can help in any way we can.
For more information, please feel free to call Sandra at 508-481-3381. Speaking of the library, the city has closed the book on the search for a new library director. The library's Board of Trustees selected Margaret Cardello of Hopkinton to fill the role. She signed a 3-year contract and will start October 12th. Coming up, a haunted house for a great cause, your pet of the week, and your weather outlook for the weekend and into next week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
This is Ducky Duck. Ducky Duck is really no different than you and I. You see, Ducky enjoys using Marlborough's rivers, streams, lakes, and ponds for travel, leisure, and even for drinking water. But Ducky needs your help. When humans mistake stormwater drains for sewers, it causes many problems. While sewers are connected to the plumbing in our houses, stormwater catch basins are completely separate and flow directly into our public water supply. Polluted waterways can affect the quality of our drinking water, our wildlife, and the overall health of our city. So when you discard trash, fertilizers, or oils into these drains, it's bad news for Ducky and for you. Help keep our waterways clean.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Marlborough Haunted House Food Drive to benefit the Marlborough Food Pantry is being sponsored once again by Stephen and Sharon Levy and the Marlborough Lions Club. Residents are encouraged to visit 61 O'Grady Road every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night in October from 5 to 10 p.m. Come enjoy a spooky night out and bring donations of non-perishable food items for the pantry.
Today we have Jasmine, and Jasmine is the sweetest little dog. She's quiet, she's loving, but she is also very, very shy. She's going to need a quiet home. She's a young dog. She's only about 2 years old. She's a spayed female from Puerto Rico. She's great with other dogs, except at mealtime. So when she's having her dinner, she does need to be separated from other dogs. Other than that, she gets along great with people and other dogs. So if you'd like to have some more information about Jasmine, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
Let's see what the next 5 days has in store for us. Here's a look at your 5-day forecast.
Hi, I'm firefighter Mark. I just got back from fighting a fire that could have been prevented. Here's an easy and simple way to protect you and your family from a fire. Change your batteries in your smoke detector. When replacing the batteries in your smoke detector, make sure that you have fresh, new batteries. When testing your smoke detector, you want to make sure that you push the test button. And don't forget about carbon monoxide in your home. There are 2 types of detectors to protect yourself from carbon monoxide. This one is battery operated and needs to be mounted on your wall. This one needs to be plugged into your wall outlet. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Due to bad weather, Superintendent Dr. Pope's Workout Wednesdays was canceled this week, but the event will continue next week. You can always check the school's district's website at mps-edu.org for up-to-date information regarding Workout Wednesdays and any other information you may need. The candidates running for public office for state senate and state representative for the Marlborough district will have an opportunity to debate their platforms at an upcoming candidates forum hosted by the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce. The debate will be held this Tuesday, October 12th from 7:45 to 9:15 a.m. at the Marlborough Courtyard by Marriott. All are welcome to attend. Please call the chamber office for more information at 508-485-7746. And before we go, the Marlborough Fire Department is joining forces with our local senior center on Main Street to help any senior citizen who needs help testing and changing their batteries and their smoke detectors. Any interested resident can call the senior center at 508-485-6492 to sign up for this service. This volunteer effort by the fire department will be taking place on Saturday, October 16th. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, a candidates forum for the local state representative and Senate seats took place on Tuesday. Job cuts hit Marlborough Hospital, plus the next generation of police interceptors were debuted on Thursday afternoon, and later in this half hour, an opportunity to say thanks to our troops overseas. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on this week's top story. While Republican candidates for state office slammed the legislature's last 2 years, local Democratic incumbents praised their own accomplishments and warned that tax cuts could lead to gaping deficits on Tuesday. In the morning's first debate, Republican Stephen Levy faced off against State Representative Danielle Gregoire. State Senator Jamie Aldridge later took on Republican George Thompson. Gregoire and Levy disagreed on question 3, which would lower the state sales tax from 6.25% to 3% if voters approve it on November 2nd. Gregoire and Levy did agree that businesses are having trouble with the state's regulations. The candidates for state senate spend much of their time talking taxes. Thompson, in his second term on the Westboro Board of Selectmen, says he opposes question 3 because the state budget is not stable. With the estimated revenue loss if passed, Eldridge stated he would continue fighting to close corporate tax loopholes and look to discuss a progressive income tax. The debates were hosted by the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce at the Courtyard by Marriott in front of a group of about 50 people. If you're interested in watching the debates, you can watch them in their entirety on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. and 10 p.m., Friday nights at 8 p.m., and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. Or you can contact the station at 508-481-1373 for a DVD copy. Tuesday of this week marked the last day to register to vote for the upcoming election on November 2nd. As we move forward, here are some details you need to know. Offices on the ballot for the upcoming November election are Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Attorney General, Secretary of State, Treasurer, Auditor, Representative in U.S. Congress, Counselor, State Senator, State Representative, District Attorney, and Sheriff. For more information, please visit marlborough-ma.gov and click the link for voting information on the City Clerk's page. Anyone with additional questions can contact the City Clerk's office at 508-460-3722. A Marlborough man charged with rape was ordered held without bail on Tuesday. 28-year-old James Edward Trotner Jr. is being accused of raping a 34-year-old woman twice. Trotner was arrested at the police station on Sunday. Trotner is charged with 2 counts of rape, assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, and vandalizing a property. Trotner is due back in Marlborough District Court on October 19th for a dangerousness hearing, which will determine if the court continues to hold him without bail. With a focus on identifying risk factors and helping victims, the police department is participating in training for high-risk domestic violence cases. The center is running a session at the police station this Monday, October 18th. The police department's training, funded through a $17,000 U.S. Department of Justice grant, is geared toward patrol officers and supervisors in helping to identify high-risk situations. To continue with our police department, the debut of new, safe, fuel-efficient police interceptors took place on Thursday at Massachusetts State Police Headquarters, right here in the city, and we were there. Ford vehicle experts were on hand on Thursday afternoon at the Massachusetts State Headquarters to conduct demonstrations of Ford's all-new police interceptors, specifically designed for the rigors of day-to-day police work.
For the last 15 years, we've had the Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. And following in the footsteps of that great reputation of being a very durable vehicle, it's really an icon in the marketplace for what law enforcement looks like. These 2 vehicles will replace that icon.
Both the sedan and utility vehicles will debut simultaneously when production of the Crown Victoria Police Interceptor ends at the end of 2011.
Ford Motor Company is building 2 unique vehicles for law enforcement only, and they're called the Police Interceptor, but essentially they're purpose-built vehicles that actually let the law enforcement get the job done from a durability perspective so they can run 24/7, from a safety perspective for what the officers have to do on a day-in and day-out basis, for the performance, obviously, from everything from stopping and braking to acceleration So it's a full suite, and then what they do to live in, this is their office, so they live in these vehicles, and so they need a cockpit that supports all of their aftermarket equipment as well.
Currently, Ford controls more than 70% of the police market.
The government has been asking us to provide them more solutions in regards to fuel economy, greener solutions, more efficiency, give them more powertrain, give them more performance. You know, they're asking for things that don't actually go together usually. We're giving them the choice. So we're giving them the choice of powertrains, we're giving them the choice how to achieve their fuel economy that they're looking for, then we give them a choice of top hat so that they can design their fleet for how it needs to be.
The demonstrations were aimed at providing local and state law enforcement officials with a first-hand look at the two new vehicles.
Many of these agencies are really looking to get the correct information so they can make their decisions. So we had state agencies, we had municipalities come, we had sheriffs and county officials, we had some federal agents here. And because they came for the product, but we see them that they all came because we could bring it to one central location and give it to them all at one time.
These new police interceptor vehicles have been debuting all over the country and will continue to do so through this year. The vehicles will be produced in Chicago.
It's right in our homeland, you know, our taxpayers' money working for us, bringing it back to the economy. That's something that Ford is glad that we can provide to law enforcement.
An increase in the city's lodging tax could bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars in new annual revenue for economic development, according to a proposal councilors discussed Tuesday night. But councilors state they need more details about the idea, and some are already opposed to an additional tax. With an ultimate goal of stabilizing the residential tax rate, City Council President Arthur Vigin is calling for the additional 2% lodging tax. The state last year gave communities the ability to increase their hotel and motel occupancy tax from 4% to 6%. Marlborough's rate stands at 4%. Last year, city councilors unanimously shot down the possibility of raising the lodging tax. They also rejected raising the 6.25% tax on restaurant meals to 7%, another new option under the law. Arthur Bergeron, chairman of the Marlborough Economic Development Corporation's board of directors, says the city needs a plan. The corporation could use some of the additional revenue for a plan, according to the proposal Bergeron discussed on Tuesday. Councilors requested more detail on the budget breakdown, which Arthur Vigin says the committee will receive for the next meeting. The Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee tabled the discussion, and the committee did not set a new meeting date Tuesday night. Superintendent Dr. Anthony Pope told the school committee Tuesday night that the district needs to narrow the achievement gap among students. He also announced that the district stands to receive $400,000 from the Race to the Top program if it meets state requirements to help meet that goal. Although the state's requirements appear demanding at first, Pope states that his plan for the town's school system would have followed a similar path regardless of the town's Race to the Top status. In other business, the superintendent announced that Matthew Bailey, Alexander Kanicki, and Hunter Loveland have been named commended students in the 2011 National Merit Scholarship Program. About 34,000 commended students throughout the nation are being recognized by the National Merit Scholarship Corporation for their exceptional academic promise. Commended students placed among the top 5% of more than 1.5 million students who entered the 2011 competition by taking the 2009 preliminary SAT National Merit Scholarship qualifying test. UMass Memorial Healthcare, which runs 5 hospitals, said on Tuesday it will eliminate about 350 jobs, or nearly 2.6% of its workforce, the largest hospital cutback in Massachusetts this year. The medical network that includes Marlborough Hospital has cut 350 jobs, citing pressure that includes costs from insurers and the government and a leveling of patient visits likely tied to the economy and unemployment. The network, UMass Memorial Healthcare, is laying off 130 workers, eliminating 120 vacant positions, and reducing staff hours equivalent to 100 full-time employees. The system employs 13,700 people overall, with an annual revenue of $2.5 billion. While most of the cuts are expected at the flagship UMass Memorial Medical Center in Worcester, the system's hospitals in Marlborough, Clinton, Leominster, Fitchburg, and Palmer are also included. The cuts at UMass Memorial are expected to save $27.6 million in salaries and benefits and include a variety of jobs, although most involve administrative duties rather than treatment of patients. Both unionized workers and managers will be affected. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Marlborough Hospital is dedicated to providing women with the latest technology when it comes to mammography screenings. Here's some information on why it is so important to make sure you get yearly mammograms. Marlborough Hospital is concerned with women's health issues. The hospital has invested significant resources in providing needed services such as digital mammography, MRI, and to provide more advanced testing such as MRI breast biopsy, as well as stereotactic breast biopsy and ultrasound. The staff includes some very experienced oncologists and radiologists who specialize in detecting and treating breast cancer.
A good chunk of the decrease in the breast cancer death rate, we think, is due to screening mammography.
Every October, hospitals all across the country focus their attention on raising awareness for breast cancer. This month, one particular point of focus for local hospitals is early detection.
The single best way to catch breast cancer early is screening mammography. Self-examination should be considered a complement to screening mammography.
According to the American Cancer Society, approximately over 200,000 women will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer in 2010. This statistic indicates the vital importance of taking early detection measures such as self-examinations and mammograms.
We still have women all the time, every month, who come in who have breast cancer, and they found it themselves. In which case, if they hadn't been checking in some form or fashion, they might have come in a little bit later when the cancer was bigger and less of a chance of curing them.
For more information about breast cancer and its diagnosis and treatment, please call Marlborough Hospital at 508-481-5000 or visit marlboroughhospital.org. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, 2 fundraising events for the Marlborough Food Pantry are coming your way. But first, a way to give back to our troops overseas locally. We're back with that story after this short break. Please stay with us.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. Get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Why, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bring the bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. If you've ever wondered how you can help the troops overseas, now's your chance. 2 women have come together to help those serving our country through food and letter drives. Residents can drop off items this weekend to be sent overseas. Here are the details. In August of 2005, local resident Lisa Braccio was looking for a way to support the troops serving overseas. She discovered a website that allows you to adopt a soldier and provide them with some of the basic necessities that we take for granted.
And we were just floored by what we found the needs were as far as toothpaste, toothbrushes, toilet paper in some instances. We had no idea that the need was there.
She was determined to do more, and just 2 weeks later, with virtually no help, Lisa and her husband Matt were able to organize their very first care package drive and shipped 607 boxes to the Middle East. 2 years later, Debbie Depp Wilson, whose daughter Courtney is a lieutenant in the Army and currently serving in Afghanistan, heard about Lisa's efforts and wanted to get involved.
Every 10 years during my career, I've always taken a year off to give back. And at the end of '07, I was looking for something to do. And I'd mentioned to my husband, since I knew Courtney was going to be deploying, that I really wanted to do something with the troops. And wouldn't you know, he goes off to the Southborough dump, and Lisa Braccio, who's our founder, and her husband Matt were handing out flyers for our October care package drive. So David brought the flyer home and said, okay, this is it. Let's go to BJ's, fill the cart, and Monday morning you really need to call this woman.
The drive is now in its 6th year, and despite the tough economic climate, the turnout grows larger every year. Some of the most requested items by the troops include deodorant, toothbrushes and toothpaste, body wash, Q-tips, baby wipes, and razors. And food items such as gum, hard candy, granola bars, nuts, and oatmeal. Monetary donations will also be accepted, as well as letters and cards, because, believe it or not, many soldiers never receive mail from home.
The Kane School in Marlborough has been supportive. There's schools now in Shrewsbury. And what these kids do is they actually write cards and letters to the troops. So every box that we ship out over the course of the weekend will have at least 5 to 6 cards and letters from kids, which is the best. I mean, some of these kids are hysterical. We had a little boy at one drive that made a homemade card and he taped Green Army men on it. And we were in hysterics and we said, okay, we're sending it. Well, I got a picture back of these soldiers playing with the Green Army men. I mean, it's just wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
The Marlborough American Legion Post 132 pays for the close to $6,000 in shipping costs, and within days, participants start receiving thank yous from the soldiers.
We get emails and letters, and all during the year, I continue to correspond with people, either by email or sending them letters or sending them small care packages. And the constant theme is, you can't possibly know how much that package means to us.
Lisa is most impressed with the generosity of the community.
The neat thing about the weekends that we do this is it's people coming out, people opening their hearts. I mean, this is America at its best. You know, it doesn't get any better than the person that can come that can only afford a can of tuna to the person that fills the back of an SUV. I mean, every little thing counts and every little thing fills a box.
And it's a group of total strangers who get together, become friends, and as a stranger, they may be sending a box to a soldier, but there's a connection that's made. And the connection is that you're not forgotten.
The drive is taking place rain or shine this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Southborough Senior Center located at 9 Corderville Road in downtown Southborough. A group aimed at helping residents deal with raising a child with type 1 diabetes had a gathering last weekend to celebrate accomplishments over the past 10 years. Sandra McCarthy, the local mom who started the group in 1999, says it's important for all residents to learn about this deadly disease.
We want them to expect that every year they'll see a display. We'll bring them the latest information, the latest books, the latest technology.
Next month is American Diabetes Month, but during the month of October at the Marlborough Public Library, residents can view a special diabetes awareness display thanks to a local group called Marlborough's Sweetest Kids. This is the group's 10th display.
We've been able to, use our beautiful public library every year since 1999 after my daughter's diagnosis. I just felt I wanted to be, a resource for families that live in the area.
Last weekend, a celebration of their 10th year was celebrated with a gathering at the library. Marlborough's Sweetest Kids founder Sandra McCarthy spearheaded the get-together. There were activities for kids in addition to vital information for parents that talked about dealing with diabetes. McCarthy urges all residents to take a moment to learn about diabetes even if you're not personally touched by the disease.
If you are any type of service professional, whether it's healthcare, whether you're a security guard at the mall, whether you're a retail person, you're going to run into a person with diabetes. And it's really important that you have just some basic understandings of who the face of diabetes is.
Although the gathering has come and gone, McCarthy is open to talking with anyone who needs help.
It's such a stressful thing, but because we've met other people, it's given us a bond that no matter if we see each other every day, we can call each other in the middle of the night, and we just are there for each other, and we walk the same walk, we talk the same talk.
For more information, please feel free to call Sandra at 508-481-3381. As the colder months and the holiday season approaches us, the Marlborough Food Pantry becomes even more important to our city residents. The Boys and Girl Scouts of this community are about to do their part to help stock the shelves with the annual Scouting for Food campaign. The Marlborough Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts would like to announce the kickoff of the annual Scouting for Food campaign in Marlborough. Scouts have been participating in the cause for over 20 years. This year on Saturday, November 6th, the Cub Scouts, Brownies, Girl Scouts, and Boy Scouts of Marlborough will fan out through the city to distribute the all too familiar tan plastic bags. The collection bags are again sponsored by Price Chopper Supermarkets. The Scouts will return the following Saturday on November 13th to collect all donations. They ask that bags be out on your porch by 9 a.m. All food donations will directly benefit the Marlborough Food Pantry. Suggested items needed are canned vegetables, dry goods, canned sauces, juice, coffee, tea, cocoa, infant items, and toiletries. The goal of the Scouts is to collect 8 tons of food. They ask everyone to please assist our local Scouts in achieving this very worthy goal. If you don't get a donation bag, please feel free to use any type of bag you have, or you can call Unit Commissioner Jim Watson at 508-662-1617.
We just ask that in the future, and even now, if you have items to donate, please bring them down to the food pantry and do your part to help other people in your city.
In addition, the Marlborough Haunted House Food Drive to benefit the food pantry is being sponsored once again by Stephen and Sharon Levy and the Marlborough Lions Club. Residents are encouraged to visit 61 O'Grady Road every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night in October from 5 to 10 p.m. Come enjoy a spooky night out and bring donations of non-perishable food items for the pantry. In an effort to best meet the needs of city residents, the pantry is pleased to announce new hours of operation. The pantry will now be open Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and Thursdays 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. The pantry is located at 255 Main Street, Suite 113. The emergence of a new association of downtown business owners, workers, landlords, and tenants has been an ongoing effort over the past few months. The group called Downtown Village is meeting this Tuesday night, and all are welcome to attend. A significant number of business owners and professionals have expressed optimism that Marlborough's greater Main Street area is poised for growth in the coming years. The aim of the group is to engage residents, landlords, merchants, and professionals to work together to enhance downtown in physical appearance and with respect to the mix of retail offerings and with community events that would increase traffic downtown. Those interested in learning more are invited to visit or call Mary or Randy Scott at the Main Street Cafe at 508-485-7664.
The sports update took some time off, but we're back this week to get you caught up on Panthers football through their first 5 games. Game 1 at Central Catholic. Early on, Michael Turpak makes a great defensive play, dipping back into coverage and picking one off. The ensuing drive came up fruitless, but after a central punt, the Panthers worked their way to the red zone and pulled off a sweet reverse to Adam Serra for the score. Central Catholic would tie it with a running touchdown, then late in the second, took the lead with this beauty over the middle. Not giving up, the Panthers' defense led by Jacques Pierre would strip the ball. 3 downs later, Marlborough only needed a little, but got a whole lot. 58 yards from Austin Garvey, and the Panthers tie it up. After another Central score, some miscommunication leads to a fumbled return, leading to another Central touchdown. And that's all she wrote for Week 1. Week 2 versus Algonquin started with another Marlborough fumble, but this time the ball would roll in their favor. And after that, it was all Panthers, rolling to a 43-9 drubbing of Algonquin. Quarterback Dennis Duplessis made sure he held on tight on this play-action keeper, and by the time Algonquin figured out where the ball was, Duplessis was already halfway into the end zone, 86 yards for the score. With the score 22-6, Duplessis decided to show off his arm as well, throwing on the move to Mike Turpak in the end zone. Adding insult to injury, Adam Serra joins in on the fun and runs back this pick all the way for the touchdown to give Marlborough some serious momentum going into Week 3 at Doherty, where quarterback Dennis Duplessis kept the momentum going, throwing for a touchdown, then keeping it himself and running one in, then throwing it again for another touchdown. Marlborough takes it 28-7. Coming back home for Week 4 versus Shrewsbury, things were about to get wet and wild on a rainy night at Kelleher Field. Shrewsbury would take the lead early on a short run, but Marlborough had an answer in the second quarter with a perfectly executed reverse for the score. And after that, it was all Austin Garvey, running in 2 more touchdowns to keep Marlborough's momentum going into Week 5 versus Gardner. And on the first play on offense, Duplessis catches the defense sleeping and connects with Andre Carbonneau for an 80-yard touchdown play. At the end of the first, Adam Serra breaks a tackle and spins into the end zone. And then it's back to the ground again, this time with Austin Garvey, finding some wide open space, and with a nice block from teammate Eric Roberts, he's in for the score. And Marlborough is now 4-1 on the season. Does anyone dare say the word Super Bowl? Well, that's it for this week. We'll see you again.
Coming up, your pet of the week and your weather outlook for the weekend and into next week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
Every 2 seconds, someone in America needs blood. Nearly 5 million Americans will need a life-saving blood transfusion this year alone.
Every blood donation can save up to 3 lives. While many people know about the chronic shortage in the blood supply across the country, very few people are doing anything about it.
We need your help. Giving blood is easy. It only takes about an hour of your time.
Be a hero. Be a blood donor. Help us save a life.
Today we have Bella, and Bella is a cute little terrier mix. She's about 2 years old, she's a spayed female. She came to us from a private home because they said they just didn't have too much time for her. And dogs do take a lot of time, so you want to take that into consideration. But she's friendly, she's active, she does need some training, but she's going to make a great family pet with a little bit of help. So if you're interested in Bella, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
Let's see what the next 5 days has in store for us. Here's a look at your 5-day forecast. Marlborough's annual Trick or Treat and Horribles Parade is scheduled for Friday, October 29th. Residents can trick or treat along Main Street in downtown Marlborough from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. The parade, led by the Marlborough Middle School Band, starts at 5:30 p.m. from the old fire station to Monument Square. The mayor's office is sponsoring the fun. And before we go, the Boys and Girls Club of Metro West will be holding its annual Bids for Kids auction and gala on Thursday, October 28th. The organization will honor the 2010 Partners for Youth at the event. Fidelity Investments is the corporate partner for youth. Framingham Cooperative Bank is the 2010 Small Business Partner for Youth, and John Petrin will receive the Michael C. Sullivan Award as the Community Partner for Youth. The event is held at the Sheraton Framingham Hotel. Susan Warnick of Channel 5 will again serve as celebrity MC for the event.
I was once a kid myself in Metro West. I think people know I grew up in Natick, and I've seen an awful lot of changes in this area over the years. But one of the things that I have not seen change is the huge collective heart in this part of the country, and certainly in this part of the state.
The Boys and Girls Club of Metro West hopes to raise $150,000 with the event. The organization has clubhouses in Framingham, Marlborough, and Hudson. Tickets are available through the organization's website at bgcmetrowest.org. And for more information, please call 508-485-4912. That's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, more higher education options may be coming to the Marlborough region. A fire broke out at a local condominium complex on Wednesday, plus 2 local foreclosed homes have been renovated and are for sale. And later in this half hour, more than 10,000 pounds of items have been collected for troops overseas thanks to 2 local moms from Southborough. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on this week's top story.
When I look around this room and see so many different business leaders, community leaders, I'm really excited about the fact that we're coming together for the greater good of this community.
Aiming to bring more higher education options to the Marlborough region, Quinsigamond Community College and Assabet Valley Regional Technical High School are exploring a partnership to share space and curriculum offerings. During an event Thursday morning at Assabet Valley's campus on Fitchburg Street in Marlborough, the schools introduced their plans to the community and invited public participation in the process.
We don't want you to be silent partners. We want you to be advocates for what you believe in. We want to know what you believe in.
Dale Allen, Quinsigamond's Vice President for Community Engagement, stated that the college, which serves 43 area communities, hopes to use Assabet's facilities to offer college classes after the high school day is completed.
This is a community college that is active in our community and believes in our community and is trying to find ways to make sure we have a workforce that's well trained for these new 21st century jobs.
Many of the classes Quinsigamond hopes to offer would be open to qualified students from other local high schools as well as Assabet Valley Tech, allowing juniors and seniors to get a head start in earning college credits.
This is the next logical step for us as a community and as a state, because with the soaring cost of higher education, it's becoming difficult for families to afford to send their kids to college.
Over the past 5 years, enrollment at Quinsigamond has increased by more than 49%, and its main campus in Worcester does not have enough classrooms or parking to keep up. 3 years ago, the community college expanded its course offerings to a satellite campus in Southbridge, which has 521 students taking classes this semester. The Quinsigamond Assabet proposal is still very much a work in progress, and the final arrangement will be subject to approval by Quinsigamond's Board of Trustees, as well as the State Department of Higher Education.
It's a long process, and it's going to be longer, as you can tell, because there's so much work that needs to be done. Business leaders, community leaders, we really, truly appreciate it. We're looking forward, and I guarantee you the best is yet to come. So thank you.
A fire broke out at Spring Hill Condominiums on High Street Wednesday night. The fire department quickly extinguished the fire that was located on the first floor of the building. Deputy Chief Ron Ayotte was on hand to tell us what started the blaze.
It turned out to be electrical, a fire and a fan. Definitely an electrical problem. Fan probably was on, overheated. Fire was extinguished. We overhauled the area. We made sure we ripped down the area around the fan to make sure there was no fire up inside. And it's up to the homeowner now to do the repairs.
To continue with our fire department, they have a message to all residents. A company is calling area homes and falsely saying it's conducting a survey on behalf of the Marlborough Fire Department about smoke detectors and home fire alarm systems. The Marlborough Fire Department is not conducting a survey and has not authorized a survey of any kind to be conducted. The company is likely trying to gather information for sales calls, or the survey could be a phishing scam trying to get information about a residence.
The city will likely soon discuss key services that drew intense debate earlier this year. The City Council voted 6-5 in May to cut all funding from the Human Services Department in fiscal 2011, which began July 1st. At its next meeting, the Council restored funding for the first 6 months of fiscal 2011 and requested the Mayor submit a reorganization plan. Mayor Nancy Stevens assembled a group to gather information about the city's human services and present any recommendations for the future of the department. Councilors who voted for the cut have suggested that the city could have a clerk handle social services phone calls. Other councilors, though, have said that the city needs someone like Human Services Department Director Rosalind Baker Laker as a point of contact for the needy. In addition, Stevens in August recommended Jennifer Claro to be the Council of Aging Director. Ward 1 City Councilor Joseph Delano said he expects the Personnel Committee to schedule a meeting with Claro by next week. If approved by the Council, Claro will serve a 3-year term. The city received 24 applications for the director job. Amy Lovelace served as director from 2004 to this year, when the city decided not to reappoint her. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
The dormant building on Pleasant Street, known as Corbin Plaza, should become active again soon. Developers closed on the 4-story property this week and plan to turn it into condos. The City Council unanimously approved the special permit application to transform the 4-story building at 110 to 118 Pleasant Street into the House Shoe Factory condominiums. Plans call for 17 2-bedroom condos and 1 business office. Developers estimate the construction to cost about $3 million. The project needs site plan approval and a building permit. The developers state they hope the financing comes through when the developers acquire the necessary permits so the renovations can start as soon as possible. The developers may begin some light demolition inside, including cleaning and maintenance for the winter. Construction could start as early as spring. The final price was $391,600, the auction bid plus a 10% premium charged by the auctioneer. The property went on the auction block 2 other times in the last 2 years, but has remained vacant. The city foreclosed on the property in 2008 after the former landlord could not pay back taxes. Thanks to the Community Development Authority's stabilization program, 2 foreclosed properties have been renovated and put on the market, but selling them has proven to be a challenge thus far. Here's Paula Pimentel with more.
The unhealthy real estate market has touched even publicly subsidized affordable home sales in Marlborough. Nobody applied for 2 city-owned homes, a 2-bedroom house on Preston Street listed for $200,000, and a Gleason Street property for $225,000, both being sold by the Community Development Authority. The houses were assessed at $215,000 and $230,000 respectively before they underwent extensive renovations. The city needed to follow strict guidelines when marketing the homes, including seeking out underprivileged groups that might have hampered sales. But now that no one has responded to the marketing attempts, officials can attempt to sell the houses in a more conventional manner. The buyers will still have to meet income eligibility requirements. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Paola Pimentel.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough This Week, a city driving volunteer service needs your help. But first, a positive message from a local nonprofit about bullying is coming to the Whitcomb School. We're back with that story after this short break. Please stay with us.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. Get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Why, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bring the bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Students at the Whitcomb School will be taking part in a presentation next week about bullying. The presentation focuses on a positive message which is inspired by Rachel Joyce Scott, who was the first person killed in the Columbine shootings that took place in 1999. Rachel's Challenge is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to bring a permanent positive culture change to schools. Its message of kindness and compassion resonates throughout the presentation. Research shows that bullying and harassment is not tolerated and will not survive in a climate of kindness and compassion. Rachel Joyce Scott was the first person killed in the Columbine High School tragedy on April 20th, 1999. Immediately after the tragedy, her father, Daryl, began to speak around the nation using writings and drawings from Rachel's many diaries to illustrate the need for a kinder, more compassionate nation. Rachel's Challenge has presented in over 3,000 schools across the nation and in Canada. The program has reached 11 million people in 50 states and 6 countries. Next Wednesday on October 27th, all students at the Whitcomb School will be invited to join in on Rachel's Challenge. That evening, parents and the community at large are invited to attend a powerful session presented by Rachel's Challenge. The event will take place from 7 to 8 p.m. at the Whitcomb School Auditorium. The school is located at 25 Union Street in Marlborough. Last weekend, hundreds of area residents came together for one purpose: to help those who are serving our country overseas. 2 local women began this troop drive 6 years ago, and it's been going strong ever since.
This is our 12th drive. We've shipped over 110,000 pounds.
Through generosity of the surrounding communities, over 450 boxes were shipped overseas to deserving servicemen and servicewomen weighing over 10,000 pounds.
We do our care package drive every May and October, and it is a multi-community effort of commitment and collaboration. We get volunteers from all over who bring items, write checks, volunteer their time.
The support and success of this multi-community event amazes all who participate.
They're over there serving us, giving, in some cases, their lives. The least we can do is make things a little more comfortable for them.
These wonderful boxes of touches and tastes of home will touch the lives of over 8,000 members of our military. With the dire circumstances in Afghanistan, with most troops not even having running water and living on a mountaintop, it brings such joy to those who participate to be able to help them and send love.
We have our sort of our core group that we know we can count on every May and October, but it just continues to grow. Every drive gets bigger and better.
Almost 1,000 cards and letters from kids and adults were inserted into the boxes, along with laminated fall leaves that children spent time making. Daisy Troops, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, high school students, area residents, the Metro West Boys and Girls Club all helped to make this event the best yet.
It's amazing, but it's really the kind and caring hearts of people and total strangers that come and make a connection and remind the troops that they aren't forgotten.
A city driving service still needs volunteers to get its motor running. Larry Vifquain of Marlborough is helping to develop a group of dedicated volunteers. Here's more in the story. A program called FISH, which is Friends in Service Helping, is an international volunteer organization founded by members of the St. Andrew's Church in Oxford, England. Closer to Marlborough, FISH in Sudbury was organized in 1970.
The whole goal of the service is to transport people to medical appointments. It's a big need in many communities. We don't really have a service like that in Marlborough, volunteer service, and that's what we're really trying to start here.
Today it provides more than 1,000 rides per year for its town citizens when family and friends cannot provide the transportation.
We'll service the senior center, we'll service 2 other town residential properties, Academy Knolls, the villages at Marlborough East, and the village at Crane Meadows. That's kind of, we'll start there, and we'll expand as the number of volunteers allows us to do that.
All transportation is provided by volunteers using their own vehicles. The program aims to target the senior center for now, but then plans to expand. Anybody interested in becoming a coordinator or a driver is encouraged to call this program.
You call a single phone number, 508-485-6492. You go to extension 11, simply leave your name, your phone number, and that you're interested in this program called FISH.
The Boys and Girls Club of Metro West will be holding their annual fundraiser next Thursday night, and the event is open to the public. Here are the details. Boys and Girls Club of Metro West will be holding its annual Bids for Kids auction and gala on Thursday, October 28th. The organization will honor the 2010 Partners for Youth at the event. Fidelity Investments is the corporate partner for youth. Framingham Cooperative Bank is the 2010 Small Business Partner for Youth, and John Petrin will receive the Michael C. Sullivan Award as the Community Partner for Youth. The event is held at the Sheraton Framingham Hotel. Susan Warnick of Channel 5 will again serve as celebrity MC for the event.
I was once a kid myself in Metro West. I think people know I grew up in Natick, and I've seen an awful lot of changes in this area over the years, but one of the things that I have not seen change is the huge collective heart in this part of the country and certainly in this part of the state.
The Boys and Girls Club of Metro West hopes to raise $150,000 with the event. The organization has clubhouses in Framingham, Marlborough, and Hudson. Tickets are available through the organization's website at bgcmetrowest.org, and for more information, please call 508-485-4912.
Hello Marlborough, a short but sweet sports update this week as we bring you highlights from Marlborough football at Westboro. First drive of the game and the Panthers were up to their old tricks again as quarterback Dennis Duplessis keeps it himself and goes 30 yards on this play. Then later in the same opening drive, Austin Garvey finds his way in for the touchdown. 7-0 Panthers. And that's actually all they would need as the Panthers offense struggled, but the defense stood tall, shutting down Westboro's running and passing attack. And in the fourth quarter, after an awful Westboro punt, Marlborough sealed the deal with another Garvey touchdown run. Marlborough is now 5-1 and will have more highlights next week.
Coming up, fall foliage, your pet of the week, and your weather outlook for the weekend and into next week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
Every 2 seconds, someone in America needs blood. Nearly 5 million Americans will need a life-saving blood transfusion this year alone.
Every blood donation can save up to 3 lives. While many people know about the chronic shortage in the blood supply across the country, very few people are doing anything about it.
We need your help. Giving blood is easy. It only takes about an hour of your time.
Be a hero. Be a blood donor. Help us save a life.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. As we continue through the month of October, leaves begin to change, but have you ever wondered how it all happens? Well, we took a moment to speak with Conservation Officer Priscilla Ryder to learn more. We all enjoy the colors of autumn leaves, but have you ever wondered why a fall leaf changes color? To answer those questions, first, we have to understand what leaves are and what they do. During summer days, leaves make more glucose than the plant needs for energy and growth. The excess is turned into starch and is stored until needed. As summer ends and autumn comes, the days get shorter and shorter. This is how the trees know to begin getting ready for winter.
That's the trigger for these trees to say, you know what, just like the little animals that are scurrying around and there's something that triggers in their brain that says we better get ready for winter.
During winter months, there isn't enough light or water for photosynthesis. The trees will rest and live off the food they have stored during the summer. They begin to shut down their food-making factories, and the green chlorophyll fades away, and yellows, oranges, and reds begin to surface.
And in some trees, like the red maples, it's a bright, bright red, and the sugar maples, it's a bright, bright yellow. The beeches right now are beautiful yellow, and then the oaks turn a brown color, and it just is the chemistry of the leaf.
Small amounts of these colors have been in the leaves all along. We just can't see them in the summer because of the chlorophyll.
If you're near a wetland, the red maples will go, they're the first to go. If you're on the highway, you'll see there's big patches of areas that are just denuded of leaves right now, and those are where the red maples, and they start first, and then it sort of rolls through the next couple months.
The brightest colors are when late summer is dry and autumn has bright sunny days and cool nights. It's a combination of all these things that make the beautiful colors we enjoy in the fall.
Right now the foliage is great everywhere. Around lakes and ponds, some of the brighter colors have faded because they're more susceptible to go early, but I've been driving all around the city the last couple days, and it's really quite beautiful.
Today we have Placido, and Placido is not really like his name implies. He is not a placid dog. He's a nervous, shy little puppy who's going to need a lot of help from someone who may have some experience. He came to us from Puerto Rico, so he just is learning how to trust people now. But if you're interested in learning more about Placido, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
Let's see what the next 5 days has in store for us. Here's a look at your 5-day forecast. In honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, UMass Memorial at Southborough will be hosting a forum titled Breast Cancer Today, Are You at Risk? This Tuesday night from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Ostrowski Conference Center at 28 Newton Street in Southborough. Women of all ages are encouraged to attend. To register, please call 508-597-7055. The city is holding a Household Hazardous Waste Collection Day next weekend. Residents can bring items to the Easterly Wastewater Treatment Plant at 860 Boston Post Road East on Saturday, October 30th from 9 a.m. to noon. For a list of appropriate items, please call 508-481-1933. Marlborough seniors are invited to a Halloween party on Friday, October 29th at 1 p.m. at the Marlborough Senior Center at 250 Main Street. Costumes are welcome. Lunch will be served at 1 p.m. and entertainment will be provided. The cost is $8 for members and $10 for non-members. Tickets are available at the Senior Center. And before we go, just a reminder that Marlborough's annual Trick or Treat and Horribles Parade is scheduled for next Friday, October 29th. Residents can trick or treat along Main Street in downtown Marlborough from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. The parade, led by the Marlborough Middle School Band, starts at 5:30 p.m. from the old fire station to Monument Square. The mayor's office is sponsoring the fun. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, Election Day is coming this Tuesday. We have the details you need to know. Whitcomb School students took on Rachel's Challenge on Wednesday, plus a tunnel of inspiration thanks to Marlborough and Hudson Art students. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on this week's top story. With just a few days left in the 2010 election season, many eyes in Marlborough are taking a hard look at two candidates running for the 4th Middlesex district seat in the Massachusetts House of Representatives. Incumbent Danielle Gregoire is being challenged by City Councilor Stephen Levy. Each candidate participated in a debate Monday night at the District Education Center. If you happen to miss Monday night's live debate, check out WMCT-TV.com for playtimes. This coming Tuesday, city residents will take to the polls. Monday at noon is the last date and time to apply for an absentee ballot. Here are the polling locations. Polling locations are as follows. Ward 1 and Ward 2, Precincts 1 and 2 will be held at the Kane School at 520 Farm Road. Ward 3, Precinct 1 will be held at Masonic Hall at 8 Newton Street. Ward 3, Precinct 2 will take place at the Richer School at 80 Foley Road. Ward 4, Precincts 1 and 2 will take place at the Boys and Girls Club at 169 Pleasant Street. Ward 5, Precinct 1 will take place at the Senior Center at 250 Main Street. Ward 5, Precinct 2 will take place at Masonic Hall at 8 Newton Street. Ward 6, Precincts 1 and 2 will take place at the Whitcomb School at 25 Union Street. And Ward 7, Precincts 1 and 2 will take place at the Hildreth School at 85 Sawin Street. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And for more information, please contact the City Clerk's office at 508-460-3775.
The school committee has awarded a contract for a comprehensive instrument rental program. According to Jonathan Rosenthal, the school's music coordinator, teachers have long been concerned about the quality of musical instruments rented by students. Students currently rent from various vendors, but Rosenthal believes that in having its own vendor, the school department can better control the quality of music instruments. In other business, the school committee plans to take aggressive steps to tackle the complex issue of bullying. Ned Pratt, Pupil Personnel Services Director, stated a new state law requires each school district to create a plan for prevention and intervention of bullying and cyberbullying. The policy must be aligned with the state's expectations, which came out over the summer. The school committee needs to approve the new policy and send it to the state by December 31st. The state's education department must approve each district's plan. The school department is aiming to accept public comment for about 1 month. The community can comment in a variety of ways, including forms, parent and student forums, and a task force the school plans to set up. The school committee referred the discussion to its policy subcommittee. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
Students at the Whitcomb School were introduced to Rachel's Challenge, a movement to encourage kindness and compassion inside and outside of school Wednesday morning. Here's Paula Pimentel with more on the story.
Rachel's Challenge message was brought into Marlborough at the Whitcomb School. Students from the 4th to the 7th grade got a chance to hear about Rachel Joy Scott's life story. Rachel's Challenge is a program inspired by Rachel Scott's 6 diaries and was founded by her father immediately after the tragedy at the Columbine High School on April 20th of 1999, where she was the first person killed. The program is designed to spread Rachel's message on kindness and compassion.
Everything is centered around changing a culture and establishing a climate that's supportive of differences in individuals.
The school social worker for the 6th and 7th grade believes that the program really works because it addresses the climate.
The research is very clear. When a school or any community group or any organization, be it business, school, colleges, whatever, when there is a climate of kindness and compassion, bullying and harassment, racism cannot flourish.
During the event, video and audio footage of Rachel's life and the Columbine tragedy were shared during a 1-hour school presentation for the 6th and 7th graders, with the purpose of motivating students to a positive change.
All of the presentations focus on Rachel's compassion, theory of compassion and kindness. The elementary school presentation really focuses on how to be compassionate and how to be kindness just where there are. It's very age appropriate. The middle school gives a little history about the Columbine incident, and it also focuses on more where they are now in schooling, being compassion and kindness.
Students learned about the need of being kind and compassionate, and also how important it is to stop the bullying.
I learned to be kind and compassionate, and it only takes one person to make a difference.
Try not to bully anybody because it can really affect some kids' lives.
Students had the opportunity to sign their names and accept Rachel's Challenge. When the program concluded, as they left the auditorium, students signed Rachel's Challenge, in which they promised to set a good example for their classmates for years to come.
I think it's giving everyone the ability or the freedom to be kind and compassionate. It gives everyone the acceptance that they need, because we always talk about including others and excluding no one. It just gives them an okay. And it's basically the same thing that your parents tell you, that your teachers tell you, but they're just hearing it from a different voice.
Rachel's Challenge also invited parents to attend a session that night at 7 o'clock. This session showed them how they can reinforce the decisions their youth are making.
Children watch us and they will react to us, and if we send the message and continue to sponsor healthy behaviors, that the children will pick up on that and they will treat each other with respect and kindness.
If you would like more information, you could visit rachelschallenge.org. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Paola Pimentel.
An unveiling ceremony for a new mural inside the Aspet River Rail Trails tunnel under the Route 290 connector will take place next Saturday at 10 a.m. We met up with a few individuals who worked on the project to give you a sneak peek into the tunnel. This 88-foot mural entitled A Community Win was designed by Hudson High School students and painted by more than 100 high school students from Hudson and Marlborough, covering both sides of the tunnel.
It was a real learning experience. It wasn't just a day out of school. We learned a real lot about art, about ourselves.
The Arts Alliance Hudson Recreation Department and Mike Correa, art coordinator for the Hudson schools, have worked closely with local art teachers, students, and community members to design and implement this enormous public art project that has taken over a year to complete.
I had approached the kids about something to do with trains, And they came up with this theme with trains and football because it's the third oldest rivalry in the state, so they decided to pick this.
A community win is set in the 1920s and depicts both schools coming home from a winning football game.
This side here, Hudson's winning the football game against Marlborough, and the other side is the opposite. And actually, Marlborough High School kids and Hudson High School kids worked on both sides. It wasn't like a competition or anything like that.
The mural illustrates a period when trains zipped through surrounding communities. Students spend time researching the 1920s to accurately illustrate the clothing styles portrayed in the mural. Many different characters can be seen within the mural, including football players and coaches, cheerleaders, marching band members, military personnel, train conductors, and numerous spectators.
It's great how students put themselves into that time period, so a lot of the portraits are of themselves in the 1920s or 1930s.
A community win is part of an ongoing initiative called Hudson Pathways. Hudson Pathways is made possible by funding from the Sudbury Foundation, Avidia Bank, and individual donations. Korea admitted that while this project was being carried out, students and parents were concerned that their hard work would go to waste if this mural were to be ruined by graffiti. Korea pushed on with the project without fear and asked his students to do the same.
I had talked to everybody coming through, adults as well, that we can't live like that. It's kind of like the towers, the Twin Towers. You're not going to stop living because of terrorism. And we're not going to stop living because somebody does something to this artwork, but we do have the varnish to protect it. But if they did, we'll fix it, and it's not going to stop us from doing artwork.
The Arts Alliance, along with the Hudson Recreation Department, Historic Society, Hudson Police Department, and Hudson Public Schools, have participated in Hudson Pathways.
It's been a good experience for the kids in general, the ones that did work on it. And if they don't realize it now, they'll come back from now. This paint's great and it'll still be here, so maybe they'll look at it and reflect on it a little differently.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, the Marlborough Historical Society's annual calendar sale is here. But first, the Lions Club inducts 5 new members. We're back with that story after this short break. Please stay with us.
Hi everybody, I'm Dan Ginden, and you're about to experience living history.
There were some unfriendly Indians who felt the Europeans were taking advantage of them. It would lead to the King Philip's War in 1675.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Lions Club inducted new members at their meeting Wednesday night. Lions Club President Rick Robinson was a sponsor for each of the new members. In addition to their bi-monthly meeting tasks, the Lions Club welcomed 5 new members on Wednesday night. Complete with an installation ceremony and celebration, the new members accepted the challenge to be an active member of this long-standing group. John Crosby just moved to Marlborough from Atlanta. Crosby wants to make a difference in this community, and once being a Lion some 40 years ago, Crosby knows what it takes to be a member of this group.
I'm excited about it. I think it's a great opportunity to meet people, great opportunity to get involved in civic activities. And I was in the Lions 40 years ago. I'm an old guy. So having the opportunity to be a part of the Marlborough Lions Club, which is a very vibrant club, is I think, a great opportunity.
Jennifer Robinson, President Rick Robinson's daughter, was actively searching for a volunteer opportunity, and this deemed a perfect fit.
I grew up in Marlborough, and I thought, what better way to sort of give back to the community that helped raise me, but to be a part of the Lions and do some sort of community outreach and try to make a difference in the community, really.
John Breen grew up in Marlborough, and now that his children have grown, he has the time to give to a community that has given him so much.
A lot of people in my generation are at the point where they can give back to the community and they don't know quite how to reestablish that connection to the way it was when we grew up, and I think this is a great way for me to do it.
Breen says sometimes it's hard to establish yourself within charities you know nothing about, but the Lions Club provides all different types of venues to reach out and give back.
Here's an opportunity to join well-established organizations like the Lions Club that have been around for decades, and get involved and try to promote and kind of throw the excuses out the window and say, you know what, I can do this, I can get involved with this. It's a structured organization. It's easy to get involved with, it's fun to get involved with, you meet more people, and you have an opportunity to do some good for the community.
The city's annual seasonal flu clinic will take place next weekend. We met with a representative from the Medical Reserve Corps to learn more. On Saturday, November 6th, the Marlborough Board of Health, in conjunction with the Marlborough Medical Reserve Corps, will be conducting the city's annual seasonal flu clinic from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Jarwick Elementary School, located at 444 Hosmer Street. The clinic is free of charge. Getting a flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu or minimize the effects of the flu if you happen to get it. Influenza sickens many people worldwide, and the very young and the very old are the most at risk. Getting the flu shot not only protects you, but it also protects those around you by minimizing the spread of influenza. Having the flu shot is a great way to maximize wellness and prevent illness. This year, all individuals ages 6 months and older are encouraged to receive the flu vaccine. The seasonal flu shot will be made available on a first-come, first-served basis to any City of Marlborough resident age 2 and older. Nasal flu mist will also be available for eligible residents aged 2 to 49.
The flu mist is just a second option for people who are eligible to receive the flu vaccine. It's just a second way to provide the vaccine to people.
Residents are instructed to bring their insurance cards, and seniors should bring their Medicare B cards. Additional information is posted on the Marlborough's city website at marlborough-ma.gov.
So this year, the flu vaccine has an added advantage in that it's a combination of the seasonal flu and the H1N1 vaccine. As you remember, last year, both of those were offered separately, so you needed 2 shots. This year, it's just 1 shot to cover you for the flu season.
Shuttle transportation for seniors will be provided from the following 4 senior housing locations: 240 Main Street, Academy Knoll, 29 Pleasant Street, and 397 Bolton Street. Shuttle bus service will be making stops beginning at 9 a.m. The buses will arrive and depart approximately every hour. For questions regarding the flu clinic, please call the Marlborough Board of Health at 508-460-3751.
It's very easy to come in and use the flu clinic. There's no pre-registration required. You just come down to the flu clinic on Saturday, you'll go through the line, and you'll receive your shot, and you'll be all set.
As the colder months and the holiday season approaches us, the Marlborough Food Pantry becomes even more important to our city residents. The Boys and Girl Scouts of this community are about to do their part to help stock the shelves with their annual Scouting for Food campaign. The Marlborough Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts would like to announce the kickoff of the annual Scouting for Food campaign in Marlborough. Scouts have been participating in the cause for over 20 years. This year on Saturday, November 6th, the Cub Scouts, Brownies, Girl Scouts, and Boy Scouts of Marlborough will fan out through the city to distribute the all too familiar tan plastic bags. The collection bags are again sponsored by Price Chopper Supermarkets. The Scouts will return the following Saturday on November 13th to collect all donations. They ask that bags be out on your porch by 9 a.m. All food donations will directly benefit the Marlborough Food Pantry. Suggested items needed are canned vegetables, dry goods, canned sauces, juice, coffee, tea, cocoa, infant items, and toiletries. The goal of the Scouts is to collect 8 tons of food. They ask everyone to please assist our local Scouts in achieving this very worthy goal. If you don't get a donation bag, please feel free to use any type of bag you have, or you can call Unit Commissioner Jim Watson at 508-662-1617.
We just ask that in the future, and even now, if you have items to donate, please bring them down to the food pantry and do your part to help other people in your city.
The Marlborough Historical Society will be conducting their annual calendar sale in November and will continue through the winter. This year's calendars have a new theme and are in celebration of the city's 350th birthday. The Marlborough Historical Society's annual calendar is now available. The 2011 calendar highlights some of Marlborough's lost landmarks.
And every month has a different lost landmark that we've lost over time. It goes back to way back even, some weird ones that you might not even know about. For instance, the wigwam tree that I didn't even know about until maybe about a year ago. But down around Lake Williams was this huge, huge tree that was hollow inside, and you could fit 19 people inside the thing. And the Indians used it as a wigwam back in the 1600s, 1700s. Unfortunately, it got a disease and they had to cut it down in the early 1900s.
The calendar is more than just pictures. Each month features stories and interesting facts about the different landmarks.
We have them distributed out at different places like Marlborough Savings Bank, the Chamber of Commerce, Bouvier Pharmacy, just to name a few, the Vin Bin, Wayside Country Store, Wayside Inn. They're all around. We have them at different places. Or they can buy them from us, and they're very economical. They're $10, and all the proceeds go to us, to the Marlborough Historic Society, to further what we're trying to do, which is to preserve Marlborough's history and also to showcase it and let people see it. It's what we have here at the homestead belongs to the citizens of Marlborough.
Coming up, Halloween is just about here, and the city has a great way for you to celebrate. Your pet of the week and your weather outlook for the weekend and into next week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. Get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Why, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bring the bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Don't forget, this weekend is your last chance to visit 61 O'Grady Road for some scary fun while donating to a good cause. Here are the details. With Halloween happening this Sunday, City Councilor Stephen Levy and his wife Sharon are continuing the tradition of creating a haunted house to benefit the Marlborough Food Pantry. The Levys have transformed their lawn and garage at 61 O'Grady Road into a haunted house full of coffins, gravestones, corpses, ghoulish monsters, and more. The price of admission is a non-perishable food item, which they will turn over to the food pantry. A couple of years ago, the Levys asked the Marlborough Lions Club to get involved to help create a spooky experience for all who dare to visit. The couple and their children and members of the Lions Club have dressed up in spooky costumes and stand completely still alongside their spooky creations. The Levys have set up the haunted house in October for about 7 years, and since then, the couple has tried each year to top the amount of food they've collected. Visitors can get to the house by going on Route 20 and turning onto Cook Lane. O'Grady Road is off of Cook Lane. The haunted house will be open this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
We like small children and big children. We can scare them all. But you're all welcome. Please come out and support the Marlborough Food Pantry.
Today we have Mr. Fabulous and his friend Jaeger. And Mr. Fabulous is also known as Fabby. And they're great little Maltese dogs. They're both boys. They're neutered. They're very, very friendly. They love each other. They keep each other company. Their only real issue is they are still not completely housebroken. So they're going to need some work with that, but I'm sure they could learn. They also need to be groomed because Maltese do not shed. So that means they need to go to the groomer and be cleaned up. So if you're interested in Fabby or Jaeger, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
The Sports Update, bringing you the wide world of Marlborough sports. Let's check in with the undefeated Panther girls volleyball team as they hosted Millis Wednesday night. Early in the first game, Marlborough jumped out to a 7-0 lead with great plays like this big block from Laura Silverman. Taylor Fearing would set up Melissa Scott for the kill as the Panthers took the first game 25-18. Game 2 starts out with a block by Vanessa Pascal. Already up 19-8, Marlborough shows why they dominate by playing as a team when Selena Giroux bumps it to Taylor Fearing, who leaves it beautifully for Silverman, who rips a vicious spike for the kill, and the Panthers would take Game 2 by a score of 25-10. Now in the third game, the sisters Fearing show off as it goes from Alexa to Taylor, back to Alexa for the kill. Millis found themselves up 11-13, and so Coach Lepre subbed in Kelly Albrecht to serve up 2 quick points, and after that it was more dominant play by Marlborough as Melissa Scott gets the tough cross-court kill. The Panthers win Game 3 22-19 and are now a perfect 17-0.
Let's see what the next 5 days has in store for us. Here's a look at your 5-day forecast. That's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week.